Well, hi everyone. Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom. It's been a little while here. Life tends to get a little busy this time of year for me, with farm equipment stuff going on, getting into the spring and everything. So, apologize for not getting these videos out quite as quickly as what I would like to, but we'll try and get one done here today and another one for tomorrow at least, and see what we got. So, yeah, so we're coming up into 4 o'clock-ish or so. It's been really busy here. As you can see, there's some manure sitting over on the side here. Misty Farms is the big dairy in the area. They're the ones that took all the round bales off the wheat field that we combined here in the last videos. And I'm going to show you some of these subscriber contracts that we've got sitting here. And one of the subscriber contracts is, in return for the bales that they took, we get a ton of manure back from it. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to click out to the spreadsheet and I'll show you how this whole thing works. Okay, so this is the listings of what we've got. We've got barley, dry corn, grass bales, hay bales, manure, milk, soybeans, straw bales, wheat, and then there's some machinery discounts down at the bottom that I'm not really working with right at the moment. So let's go to straw bales. So Misty Holsteins right here. They wanted 120 big round bales, and we've done that. They've been working hard. They got all those bales out of that storage shed that was on the opposite side of the road to the wheat field. In return of the 120 round bales, we get 450,000 liters worth of manure and the use of their Bergman spreader to spread it on our land. So pretty good trade there as far as I'm concerned. Cody Bennett, he got 10 small rounds, again, that we were able to accommodate there. And he's willing to give us 5 limousine cows. So I've got a couple other guys that are thinking that they would like to trade straw bales. This got Beef Farms. They've got 10 limousine cows, and then Farms, they're looking for 20 small rounds for 5 or 8 Angus cows. So I'm actually thinking that we might end up needing to put a small pasture area or something like that on the backside of the elevator, possibly. And then we can maybe do some of these cows for Rocky at the same point there. So, and then Barset Farms, they wanted 140 small squares, and Saga Horse Farms, they wanted 480. So all of those have been accommodated through what we've got sitting on that, or for what we harvested off of that wheat stubble field. And again, Barset there, they're willing to give us 50,000 liters worth of manure. So take this one step further. We've got people giving us manure. We're going to use it on some of our land, but we also have people here looking for manure. So the Auto Man Compost, they're looking for 20,000, and they're willing to give us 140 small square bales. Well, we come down to our straw bales, and we've got some people looking for small squares. So we're going to be able to use the manure that we got from the straw bales to fill in some of these manure contracts here. And then look at that, we get more straw bales back, which we can then go down and fill in some of our other straw bale contracts that people are looking for, and get money or animals or whatever in return for it. Now, while we're down here, the wheat, we've got enough wheat to be able to fill all of these contracts here. So Vanilo, Grain Mills, CTAS Exports, and Missouri River Co-op. So they want 250, 170, and 500,000. I don't know if we'll have quite enough to fill all of that, but we'll see what we can come up with. But in real life, we don't just deliver every inch of our crop to the elevator as soon as we harvest it. We store it. We do kind of what's in the game as to when you're going to deliver it to get the best money. But typically it's contracted, and sometimes years in advance contracted. And they don't want it all at once. They want 2 loads per month or 1 load per month or whatever. So we're going to actually end up starting to truck here coming into the 1st of October, where we need to get 5 loads per month delivered into the local elevator, which will then have these customers here pay us back. Hay bales, I've got the hay crew overworking. We knocked all that grass down the other day in the last episode. So earlier this morning, It's been sitting all day in the nice 25-degree weather that's out there right now, and it's been tedded, and they've started merging. We round baled a whole bunch of hay or a whole bunch of grass bales for Adam, Ben, and Ranger. So we've got all of those sitting there ready to be picked up. And again, we're getting manure back from them, some cash, and then I've got a lot of these hay bales also being processed right now. I should have all 480 small squares already picked, um, sitting there ready to go through the Arcuzan to be able to load them up. And then I've got these two already done, I believe, and we're just working on these last. Sorry, I've got the small rounds done already. So there's 36 of them, and then we're just working on these other ones here. So, anyways, this is how the whole thing works. This is how the subscriber contracts is sort of set up for me and how I'm having fun doing it. And this is where I'd love if some people would put stuff in here to be able to help out with the contracts. So think about it, throw some stuff down in the comments, and we'll see what we can put together. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to the map and we'll carry on. Yeah, that's how I've got this all set up, and you can see the complexities of everything, how it all sort of intertwines and works together, and it's truly actually very realistic. There's a lot of manure that gets traded for straw bales and stuff like that in real life, and I think the horse trading for some cows and stuff like that adds a little bit of depth to the whole thing, makes it a little bit different, and yeah, it just it's something different, right? So we're gonna carry on with that whole thing and see if we can keep rolling with this series with this. I've been able to do a little bit of stuff back on Michigan so that we can get some of that sort of set up ready to go again. I know I focused on Missouri for a bit here, but yeah, we'll be getting back over to there too. So we brought the 8110 over here. It is such a good old tractor, but I'll be honest, for doing this kind of stuff, it sucks. It doesn't have a high enough bucket to be able to get up over top of this spreader that we've got right now. So we're very seriously, I know, talking to Rocky, that we're thinking about going to one of the Kloss Arians to replace this tractor, but I'm almost thinking that you need to replace it with a telehandler too, just to be able to do some of this stuff. But I'm going to come up into the field because we've got the old 8650 spreading right now, and what a beast on this spreader. It is bloody amazing. So they've been working away. This whole piece to the right of me is already done, and then they're working away here trying to get this part of the field done. We've obviously got some rain showing up in the forecast here at some point. So yeah, he's working away. The Bergman spreaders are awesome. I'd say the only other ones that I think that are any better or the same would be the Tebes. But anyways, they're rolling there. We'll hop back in the truck. I'm going to run you over to the field that we did we knocked the hay down the other day, and I'll show you what's going on over there with that. Some other things, I guess, to update on. The gleaners are officially gone. Rocky made a deal just after lunch today with the local dealer. They are being traded on the 8800, 8900 Kloss with a 50-foot head and a 12-row gearing off corn head. So that's exciting. We'll have that ready to go here in beans as soon as things get ready. You can see here Misty got all of the bales out of this barn today. They've had 2 trucks and 2 guys on loaders working hard to be able to get that done. Looks like they're just here picking up the loaders and the tractor to get it back to the farm. They are actually going to help us with some of the trucking and stuff like that with the pardon me, with the hay bales that are coming off the farm here. We don't have a flat deck as of right now. It's actually something that I think that I might invest as part of this whole venture with Rocky, is maybe grab another truck and a flat deck and maybe a tractor to be able to help out with some of this stuff. But for now, they're going to help us out. One of the contracts actually showed up with a Massey 8S and a bale accumulating trailer. So they've actually pulled all the grass bales off this farm for us, so that the guys can continue to work away with the baling and everything. Looks like 4:30. Looks like they're taking a break right at the moment. So we've got the 5S on the merger back over there. We've got one of the 6S's on the small square baler here. We've got the Kloss on demo just to see what it's like on the Coon baler. And then we've got the other 6S sitting back over on the Arcuzan. So I'm going to go check in with the boys and see what's going on. I think it's just break, but I'll be right back and we'll see if we can get a little bit of baling done here. Okay, so yeah, it was break time. They're back. You can see actually the 5S is back rolling again, merging. So I'm gonna run down here. One of the guys was gonna run over to the Arcuzan and start running it a little bit to try and pick up. We need another few bales done here with the small square, and then we can carry the rest of it on with the round baler doing some big rounds. So we'll hop in the tractor here and get rolling. We need 480 small squares. So I'm figuring probably the end of this windrow and maybe back just a little bit, and that should be enough. That'll complete that hay contract, and we'll be able to get those Arcuzaned up, as I would say, and be ready to go with getting them delivered. I'm very happy with these Massey tractors that Rocky bought. I'm really glad that he decided not to take that 4710. I think it would have been too small open station for what we're trying to do here. These are actually perfect. So they'll stay with the haying crew. He has asked me if I would be interested in taking on this whole venture with the haying crew, and he just keep focusing on the cash crop stuff, which I'm probably not against, but we're gonna have to sit down and chat some money and how that whole thing would work, because this is all sort of his equipment as of right now, and I'd have to be buying it, figuring things out there. So so we need one more. There we go. Okay, so turn that off, lift it up. We can dump the bales out right here, and we'll spin around and we'll go grab that Kloss, and I'll show you what that tractor is all about, because it is a very nice tractor as well. The ZF transmission in that unit is smooth. Not that it's not with the CVTs and the Masseys, but it is a very nice transmission. So we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with these tractors, and with what we're doing with I'm just making sure that we got the right bale size to do what we're trying to do with flipping these tractors in and out with Rocky. And I think we've sort of got a little bit of a guideline as to where we want to go with it, but we're still thinking. I'll show you that spreadsheet probably on the next video. We've got it all worked out as to if we were to flip things. I think I've told you in the previous episode it was going to be like 855,000 difference, but the combine basically takes up all of that. So we're going to lease the combine. So, but we could basically trade, not even for even, but what we currently have for new equipment and not be out a whole lot of money. So we'll see. It's an ongoing thing every hour basically that we're working and talking and doing all that stuff. So we'll see where it takes us. But yeah, this is the inside of that Kloss, and we're running guidance so we can auto steer if we wanted to. The display is awesome. It's the same as the combine, and it's a very quiet tractor. You don't even know that you're doing anything in here, and it handles this baler, and I think it's going to handle some of the other stuff that we do quite well, actually. So we'll see if it actually comes to fruition when we decide what we're going to do here. But so anyways, we're going to be able to finish up this hay hopefully today. The manure spreading crew is over there. I'm probably going to end up having to run back over there. It's a little slow when they're loading on their own, having to get it out, but I'll probably finish up over there for this video, loading him. We'll show you the combine, because I think they've got it sitting there ready to go with the corn head sitting on it right at the moment, folded up, and then the draper head sitting behind it. So we'll be into October before we probably look at doing any combining, I would think. So we'll focus on the hay. We'll focus on getting that manure done. The Kloss group also has the Porsche contract for equipment, and they want us to try one of their horse prontos, which is a 6-meter drill, and they're thinking that it could replace that 450, but it's a no-till drill, so you could actually do direct seeding with it. The other option is they've got an Avatar, which is 40 feet wide, which is a little bit closer to what that 450 is, and it also is a no-till drill, and it might be something to look at too. So we're gonna maybe play with that, those two units possibly, but it'll be over in that wheat field. Once the manure's done, we'll come in and rip it. We'll use that big Summers chisel that we've got sitting at the farm. We'll rip it, and then we'll either land all it, or we'll just go direct in with that pronto and seed it into cover crops for this year. So lots going on. We'll get through this episode. We'll get into the 2nd of September and be able to get into some of that stuff and just sort of keep carrying on here. But I'm gonna hop out here when we get closer to the front. We'll let one of the guys take back over. We'll scoot through this yard or through this field with the truck and up through the yard. I'll show you that EDS Massey, I think it's Saga that's brought it over for grabbing the round bales, and show you where I'm thinking that we could maybe put this cow pasture, and then we'll head back over to the field with the manure guys and help them get loaded there. So all right, so they're on their way there. It's good. We've got lots of bales that we have to get picked up here, so that's the other goal. Got to get in that air cruiser and get that stuff picked up off the ground before this rain hits. I'd rather them in a big 14-piece bundle rather than individuals on the ground. But anyways, over we go. This piece of dirt around us, I'm not going to go to the map because it's going to save and it's going to take forever to do it. But on the mini map, maybe we can do that down at the bottom here. So we're in field 11, way down at the bottom corner there. Right around it is actually field 10, and it's sort of there's a piece of dirt on the right-hand side of this field, and then there's a piece on the south side, but they're sort of joined up right by the bush. And there's nothing in it right now. And we've got to figure out what we're going to put in there. Kind of thinking, just because of the way that this whole field sits, yes, right now it's nice and square, but I'm wondering maybe we should just merge both of them together and make this all into one big hay field. So, thoughts. Big bale grapple that was on that Massey 8S when they came over. All of this through here we can cut, so that'll be awesome to be able to get some more, make some silage bales or something. So one of the thoughts I've got is with this bush here, we could put the cattle pasture in around the bush. So fence it all off, have a spot up here with a small shed with some water and feed right in this corner here, and then have the ability to get basically shade all through the bush. Other option would be is to come up here by the elevator. So here's the grass bales that we've been able to pick up so far. Awesome looking 8S tractor and the bale accumulator from Anderson. So they're going to help out with picking up the rest of those round bales, which is great. But yeah, this thinking that possibly up here close to the house might be actually better. Put it somewhere right in here. Carry it down around the back side of the barn over to the creek, and then bring it up and onto the back side of where the weigh scales are here and where the road is. So here's our first little thing for the day. What do you think we should do? Should we do it around the trees at the back? Keep it so they've got some nice spots there to be able to be in the shade and everything? Or do we do it up closer to the barnyard here where it's easier for them to maintain? And we may end up having to have a little bit different barn so they have a spot that they can get into and be out of the sun and stuff. So throw it in the comments. What do you think? What should we do? So yeah, so we'll head back over to the field right now. I think that 8650 actually would be running out of manure pretty close to the front, so if we get back in time, we might just be able to get that right at the perfect timing. So yeah, so this is it's an exciting time here at this farm for Rocky and myself, possibly joining into the farm to do this together. Um, there's a big market in hay, and I'm very seriously contemplating being a part of that whole thing because there's enough guys around here with cows that are struggling for their own feed. There's horse farms. There's a bunch of things that you can see on those contracts that I showed you that there's enough people looking for stuff that we could make a pretty good business of it. I think so. We'll see what happens there here in a few episodes and whether or not we can make it actually work or not. This rain is actually starting to concern me a little bit. I'm hoping that they can get all that hay picked up. That's my biggest concern. If it has to sit in the bale on the ground, that's fine, but I'd like to get it up so we don't have to rake it again. So they dumped 140,000 liters where the 70 or the 8110 is, and they dumped another 140,000 liters where we just passed there. And I think that's going to be more than enough to finish this field off. But if we have extra, then we will use it on one of these other fields. The field actually just behind us here, this cornfield is ours. So we may end up being able just to carry it across the way there to be able to dump it there. So, all right, well, let's run over. We'll grab this 8650, bring it back over, get him filled up, and then we'll be able to let him go. We can cut across to the dealership quickly, and I'll show you what's going on over there. Tractor. The fact that Rocky's got two of them, he's thinking that we should trade them, and I'm the exact opposite. I think there's such big horsepower with the Kinsey rebuilds in them that they would be such a great tractor to step around here. Even just to sit on a roller would be, I think, would be phenomenal to keep them around. You're not going to get a whole lot of value for them, and they're just big enough that they can do just about anything that you want to from a drafting standpoint. So we'll see what we can convince him into it, but that's what I think we should do. All right, so you'll see here with this tractor, it handles the amount of manure just fine, and it just clears, and I basically have to have that nose guard almost right against the spreader to be able to get the dump, and you're dumping down into the bottom of it. So I don't think it's going to work long term for this with the amount of manure that we're able to pull here. What I'd actually like to do is once they're finished baling with the cloths and the round baler, I'd like to throw the bucket on cloths and actually see if it can get up any higher. I'm trying to think if there's any other tractors that we could look at that are able to take are able to take a loader that would be big enough or bigger that could reach higher. I just can't think of anything. I guess maybe a 728 Fendt with the new Q8 loader on it possibly might be big enough. I'm not sure, but part of the problem is we need a tractor that can do some random stuff, and that's where this 8010, being an old girl, it can do a lot of different things. You could put a pull type sprayer on it. You could put you could put a mechanical weeder on it. You could do all sorts of things like that, but also have the ability to have a loader to be able to do some of that too, and that makes it functional, which is great. Having a telehandler, you can't do that. You're limited to one thing that it can do. It does it better, but you can't pull other things with that telehandler. So I guess we'll see short term here in the next little bit what we're going to do there. What are your opinions on that sort of things for what we're trying to do here? Anybody that's watching, what do you think we should do there? Throw it down in the comment section. And that's the one thing with the old 8010 is that the power shift, I'm using the same hand to switch from forward to reverse as I'm using the loader. And it's doable, it just is not fixed. It's where the left-hand reverser would be very nice. Kloss actually has has a reverser built right into the loader joystick. I think the Fent does actually too. More bucket loads, I think, here, and then you should be good to go. So you can see this pile. I think we'll probably get one more, maybe two more spreader loads out of it, and then we'll move down to the next pile that's down on the next entrance. Go. All right, let's fill that back up so it's sitting ready to go for the next one. Look, isn't that crazy? That's a beautiful setup. All right, let's go. GPS is showing it should be right about here. Okay, there he's going. I don't see how we can get rid of that tractor. I really don't. Anyways, okay. We'll run back over to the truck here. We'll run into the dealership for 5 minutes just to finish this whole thing up and show you what is happening over there. They still have not been able to figure out what is going on with the gleaners, and that is why Rocky and I decided that we needed to make the flip right away, because beans are going to be rolling off here shortly, and I cannot be sitting here with guys waiting to unload. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. Pull up here. All right, so our Landau's still sitting over here, and we know that, but we had to bring that 8650 over here to grab the spreader, so it'll go on it, and then we'll probably end up using it eventually here at the wheat stubble field to get everything leveled off after we rip it. Our two gleaners, gorgeous Macdon heads, and they were a nice combine, but they're no longer ours anymore. So that's sad, but extremely happy because this is ours now, which is going to be even more good for this whole farm. 60-foot header, though it was the one that we were demoing, wasn't going to work on this particular combine just because of the length of the auger. Kloss can get a longer one, but we would have had to order a machine, and we can't do that this year. So 50-footer, we'll be able to drive a little bit faster and cover the same number of acres with it. The swing tailboard on the back end of it does a beautiful job of spreading, so looking forward to that whole thing. And then this is the 12-row folding chopping gearing Hoff that's on the front, and that'll be what we'll be doing all of our corn with. They have oh yes, our 8410 is sitting here. Still, again, as of right now, it's still ours. They did a service on it and checked the auger wagon out to make sure that everything was good to go. But I think Rocky is seriously leaning towards one of the Klosses with that bigger buggy, trying to make things more efficient for the year. But I got a fiber dash over here. Look at that. That's a gorgeous setup. We got the swing, unload, and everything on it. I wonder if the co-op around the corner there that did our spraying bought that. They already have a version of this, but maybe they bought another one. Cool. Um, yeah. So we'll see where this whole thing goes. I think the next episode that we put out will be probably back from Michigan. Was able to get some things caught up there to make sure that we could carry on at a different place so that it was a little bit more interesting than just keep going after and after and after. But yeah, I think we'll be Michigan for a little bit, and then we'll come back down to this one. So yeah, the bucket for that Kloss is sitting here, so we can run it across pretty quickly. There's the horse, the smaller version of it, like we showed the other day, um, with the discs on the front, like the Jokers. I think that it might be worth checking it out to see what it does, because it does 3 times the speed as what that 450 can do, and I think that that might make it more efficient to be able to do it. But anyways, stay tuned for the next episode with that one. So hope you enjoyed the video. Lots going on here. As always, throw some subscriber stuff down in the bottom there so that I can add them to my subscriber contract spreadsheet there. And yeah, the more interactiveness from you guys, the better this episode or this whole series can be. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody watching. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.